Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. And of course, you guys know how we do. We normally get down with the show with the Get Down. And here's what we do. We always talk about sports with comedians. With that being said, let me bring in two comedians known as Talent and Fig, because there was some stuff that went on last night, and in case you guys are not familiar, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I normally give you guys a much better introduction, but, that takes time. And then we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and that takes time. So I want to get into all the stuff, to dive in deep. But Talent is here with me. Fig is here with me. We normally start out with a COVID report. Today, I'm going to just say the same COVID report I said yesterday. That stuff has expanded. It looks like the Medical Association has got more people to talk about canceling the Olympics. Boom. Okay, we talked about that. I'm not even going to have you guys comment on that, because you know why? That takes up some time. I don't want to even go there. I want to talk about a lot of things that I do have on plan, so we can get to the NBA, because that's the hot topic that everybody's talking about. And the first thing I want to say is, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I'm starting out with you, Talent. There were 7 people who were charged in the death of a soccer player named Diego Maradona. Now, here's the thing, Talent. Of the 7 people who were charged, all 7 of them were the doctors that took care of him while he was handling his brain surgery. Because he was such a good soccer player, that the police feel that he had, against their team, the police feel that they had something to do with him in murdering him. You know what I mean? So when you hear about that, what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm like, that's very interesting, because for the doctors to have something to do with murdering him, is there going to be a deeper plot? It makes me think, like, is there a deeper plot? Are these doctors aligned with the powers that be that made money on murdering this guy? You know what I mean? Because why else do you take somebody out? It has to be another side to it. It's not going to be 7 doctors that just personally despise the guy and kill him. If they did have a part in killing him, there had to be an ulterior motive. And was that money? That's what comes to my mind. What's the other side?
According to the reports, Talent, it looks like that, this player played against the team that they liked. So they had a hand in killing him. So if that's true, and that's the case, this would be the first time an athlete was ever murdered by his doctors because he played for the opposing team. Now that's utterly ridiculous. That's why I want to bring that up. But
first of all, if I'm the soccer player, I think I'm going to know what team my doctors go for.
No, not if you have well, I understand what you're saying, but he had some kind of brain surgery, so he literally didn't even know he was going to them. Yeah, wow. It's a bad thing, bad thing. What you think about Fig?
Well, first off, Frank, man, I love your hat, man, and that was a really good movie, man. The Art of Man, really good movie. Listen, soccer is next level, B. Mm-hmm. Soccer is next level. Across the country, here in America, we don't celebrate soccer half. It's not half as important as it is in other places, man. They will just like you said, Frank. I don't put this past the doctors of a rival team to kill a man because crowds and mobs and rabid fans have attacked and threatened the lives of other players. As a matter of fact, soccer is so dangerous that if you make a bad play for your team and your team thinks that you should have been able to win the game or stop the winning score, your own fans will attack you and have death threats on you and possibly attack you at your home. That's how dangerous soccer is, man. It is not a sport. It is almost like a way of life. It is almost like Hatfields and McCoys. That's how dangerous soccer is in other countries. I'm telling you, I believe it. I believe it.
I think it could be a religion in a lot of different countries. Rodney Perry, who's joining the show with us. Rodney, what's your thoughts on the 7 doctors and nurses and medical professionals who literally had a hand in killing the soccer player named Diego Maradona? They got charged last night. What's your thoughts about hearing about this?
Man, Fig is absolutely right. You know, depending on where you are in the world, they take their soccer very seriously. And, you know, somebody got to go to jail. And
Right.
it should be this doctor lousy. Okay, yeah. But yeah. Horrible.
All right. The next story I wanted to bring up too, since I have all four of you, I'm gonna start with you, Talent. Is the LA County officials are doing some kickback against Vanessa Bryant. They're saying that Vanessa Bryant is going too far, and she literally should have no right to sue them against them. Of course, about just sharing the photos and stuff like that about Kobe Bryant and his crash and everything else like that. So, Talent, what do you think about the Los Angeles County officials kicking back with that? The officials now.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I read something where I kind of understand both sides. And this goes back to what we always say about politics, where the old people got to go. All right. I understand their part of saying that some of those, the officials are saying that some of those deputies and sheriffs are, you know, in danger because she's putting their names out there on social media. So this puts them in danger with these randoms or whatever. But what they don't understand is, I understand her side, because Vanessa Bryant's not an old woman. She's a young lady. And social media is their thing. And social media in this country is the new news outlets. More people get their news from social media like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter than they do by, nobody's picking up newspapers like they used to. Nobody's going to the local channel news unless you want to find out traffic, weather, and school closings. Anything outside of that realm is on social media. So I understand why she's going that route. And I also understand why they would be worried about the deputies and stuff like that and coming back saying she's going too far. But the reality situation is those deputies went too far when they did what they did as well.
Fig.
She is absolutely right. She grew up in a generation where cell phones and social media is the norm. You know, you have children today that could take a cell phone and put on their favorite videos, their favorite cartoons, games, movies, and stuff like that, and they can hardly speak a complete sentence. That is our new norm. And for her to go out and do something like that, I would go as far as to say that it's nothing more than what the police do when they do something to somebody. They harass somebody, kill somebody, or whatever, and then they come out and talk about what this person's background was. Like they committed robbery when they was a juvenile, or did time, like they were found with marijuana in their system. So they always try and demonize the victim, and now all of a sudden they're crying victim themselves when Talent was right. They didn't have any business doing what they did, leaking those pictures. They're officials, and they have an official duty and capacity to guard that kind of information, and they did not. So whatever happens to them is par for the course.
Rodney Perry.
You know, it's interesting looking at this because, you know, there's rumors that some of the pictures maybe were leaked to the outlets like TMZ and places of that nature. And when you start injecting money in, that's a whole nother ball of wax. You know, this is not just public domain, and you're the police. So we hold you to a higher esteem. Now, but there's another way to look at this. And I saw Vanessa Bryant's speech, which I thought she put together so eloquently. But she seemed like she could really get on your nerves. Like, just, you know, as a man with a wife, I know what it's like when a person can get on your nerves. And now, I mean, no disrespect, but yeah, I just think she know how to get under your skin.
Yeah, and she gonna get under their skin. That's exactly.
As a married man, I need to step out for a minute.
That's exactly what she's gonna do. She go. All right, let me get ready to move on to the next subject. I'm gonna start with you, Talent. Looks like Tim Tebow is officially signed as of this morning. The news leak. Tim Tebow officially signed. The NFL, players and ex-players, especially the ex-players, they are really up in arms talking about privilege and all this other stuff. Talent, we talked about Tim Tebow several times. It looks like it's a reality. now that it is a reality, what's your thoughts on Tim Tebow joining the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Well, my thoughts is I wish you'd give me a heads up when you get ready to talk about Tim Tebow so I could take a bathroom break. This is supposed to be a genuine sports show. You know what I mean? This is, I mean, we can't even write this joke, man. I'm along with the bandwagon, bro. Obviously, it's privilege. You know, we've watched football our whole lives. You know, from little toddlers throwing a little Nerf to right now being grown ass men tuning in, week out, Super Bowl watching, betting money, everything. We've seen countless players 1, 2, and 3 year removed from the game cannot come back. Not that they physically can't come back. They're not allowed.
Right.
It's a fraternity that when you do something that outs you for 1, 2, or 3 years, there's no coming back. I mean, we got a guy that took a knee that couldn't come back. This guy had to jump through hurdles to have training things and have team scouts come in and watch him. And he's in shape. He's in fit shape, but he took a knee. He can't work here no more. You know, you ever heard of those places you work? If you get caught stealing in the place, they put your picture up.
Yeah.
I can't go back there.
Yeah.
That mall, that job I had in that mall, they won't let me back there. My picture's still up. I was a 17-year-old young dumb dude. And why is my picture still up there, Frank? I'm 52 years old.
Bro, you know what? You could even say, since you brought up Colin Kaepernick, you could even say people have said Colin Kaepernick has been out of the league too long and he can't come back. But if Colin Kaepernick's been out of the league too long, then Tim Tebow definitely has been out of the league too long.
But they've been doing that to Kaepernick with 1, 2 years removed, and 3 years removed. And we went to look at him. You went to look at him and seen what? He wasn't slower, he was blacker.
Yeah, exactly.
Afro puff.
Exactly. Now Kaepernick's been out of the league, 4 or 5 years? Tim Tebow's been out of the league almost going on 10 years?
8 years. It's been 8 years.
Yeah, okay. So since he's so far removed, if Kaepernick definitely can't do it, then Tim Tebow should not be able to do it. That's my thought. But Fig, what's your thoughts?
First off, Tim Tebow wasn't even in Kaepernick's league. He wasn't even close on skill level and ability. He was nowhere near the level of what Kaepernick was. So here's the thing. With the addition of Tim Tebow, I would say the Jacksonville Jaguars are going places, man, because and let me tell you where they're going. Right to the bottom of the standings. That's exactly where they're going, because what they did, they have lost the entire locker room. They probably won't win. These guys will probably be the new Cleveland Browns. That's right, because I can't imagine these guys have any belief in their organization and their quarterback when they bring in, or their coach bringing in a player like Tim Tebow to play a position that he's never played in high school or college or the NFL and removed for 8 years. This blows up the whole meritocracy thing as far as sports is concerned. It just blows up that. It is all fake. It is all fake.
Rodney Perry, your thoughts?
I don't know why you guys are so surprised at white people. They do what they want to do. They do what they want to do when they want to do it, especially rich white people that own football teams. So guess what? If they want you to play, you play. If they don't, your ass ain't gonna play. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go back and forth with the whole thing. Kaepernick's still good. He can play, but let's save your energy, man. We can argue about something else, because the positions matter. Jaguars is reaching for straws in terms of people that opening these stadiums up. They want people to come out and watch people. And you add a guy like Tebow. I mean, very popular in the state. I mean, I think it's other things that play, but at the same time, rich people do what they want to do.
All right, let me bring in the last topic before we jump into the NBA. I found out, talent, that Jake Paul signed a contract with Showtime a week before Jake Paul got into that Floyd Mayweather scrap and everything else and was doing all that stuff. So I'm going to ask you, Talent, do you think, and it's a really dumb question, I'm going to be honest, do you think that had anything to do with, you know, that facade that happened between him and Floyd Mayweather? Because I 100% think that Showtime deal did, because according to the deal structure is the more eyeballs, obviously, that tune into Showtime, he makes more money. So, Talent, what do you think about hearing Jake Paul signed a deal with Showtime? What's your thought?
Theatrics. I mean, obviously, the worst thing that happened to combat sports is being televised. Because what happens with being televised is it's up the ante and put the pressure on being the most theatrical. So because that's what they teach you sells. You know, if you're not theatrical and you can't do blah blah blah, why would I sign a deal with you? Can you put the asses in the seats, so to speak, as they say in comedy? You know, and this obviously is the battery in the back. You knew you signed that deal, so now you have to do that theatrical thing, you know, to solidify that other thing that's going to connect to that thing, and the powers that be make it rain again. Theatrics, bro. That's all it is.
Yeah,
you knew it was in play.
Yeah, I'm trying to get paid. Fig, what you think?
Everybody loves a car crash, man. Everybody loves a car crash. I'm telling you, it is the #1 traffic starter or stopper in America. It's a car crash. I don't care. The car crash could be on the other side of the road, but this side of the road is backed up because people love to stop and watch and see what's going on. That's just what he did. He created a car crash. Now everybody wants to see what's going on. It's like the same thing that they doing with all that smoke and the basketball thing with your boy and stuff like that. That's why everybody's paying attention to it, because it's a car crash. Reality TV, a car crash every week. People want to see you acting crazy. It's a car crash, and people are going to watch. It's going to tune in, and like Talent said, it makes money, baby. Everybody, they're going to be buying it, but pay-per-view is going up.
Rodney, for your thought.
I'm reminded of a play from 1967. It's called The Great White Hope. They've been trying to find the Great White Hope for years in boxing, right? They went as far as the Klitschko brothers from another country. These are Americans, mind you. That was all about, the Klitschko was Klitschko. And they still searching. And so they find this young man who's not even a boxer. This is how far they'll go. He's not even a boxer, but he's the Great White Hope. Were those theatrics we saw? Absolutely. Floyd might have been in on it too, mind you. Floyd is the king of promoting a fight. Floyd might have been in on it. And who better to paint as the bad guy, Floyd Mayweather, and paint this young white boy as the Great White Hope? It's clear to me.
Yeah. All right. Now, Rodney Perry brought up something to me last night, and I was like, Rodney, we talked about it, but then I was like, you know what? It might be a great topic to bring it back up again, because now, we brought up the play-in tournament. We were talking about the play-in tournament before the play-in tournament actually happened. Now we all sat through the play-in tournament, and I'm going to start with you, Talent, and I'm going to ask you, do you enjoy the play-in tournament, and do you think it's working? What's your thoughts on the play-in tournament that NBA now instilled? And before everybody gives their assessment, I'm going to say I have not changed my mind. I still think the play-in tournament is garbage. I see why the NBA is doing it. I don't like it at all. Talent, tell me what you think.
I like it. And let me tell you why I like it. I like it because it's going to remove complacency. The league for so long, people get complacent and happy just to make the playoffs. They don't care if they 8 or 7 or whatever. They're like, I just made it and I'm happy to make the playoffs. This adds a sense of urgency to the people who were going to be complacent in the first place. And it was beautiful to see LeBron James punk ass in a sense of emergency in a playing game. He wasn't even in the actual series yet. It was this one playing game. Yeah, go play for the Bucks, boy. Go play, because you this load management this year, these injuries, these thinking that I could just walk into an MVP situation, or I could piece together, manufacture these championship teams. Now your ass is at the bottom, and you had to play in. And it was great to see two greats go at it. 3 or 4 greats, actually. You had AD out there, you had Draymond out there, you had Stephen out there, and even Draymond, because he has been lackadaisical at points too in this tenure of his career. His ass was he was on steroids last night.
You know, it could be NBA, the NBA management, the NBA ownership group, and the upper echelons group, a way to make sure the players stop doing the load management. Fig, do you think that the NBA play-in tournament is working, and did you like it? And what's your thoughts about now that it ended? What's your thoughts?
I absolutely love it. It's not over yet because Friday, Golden State has to play, I believe, Memphis. Mm-hmm. So it's not over yet. Golden State still has an opportunity possibly to get that 8th seed. I loved it because it does cut down that load management. I'm not going to say it'll cut it out, but it makes every game valuable. You know what I mean? You can't take a chance on keeping your stars on the bench and pretending like this game is meaningless, because you could find yourself in a one and done. You know, quite possibly, you lose one game and your playoff career is over. And if you have injuries and then you're load managing, those games become really valuable. So, you know, it's a perfect storm yesterday with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Not saying that they were load managing, but because of injuries, they found themselves in the play-in tournament. And had they been healthy 100%, then they probably would have been up in the upper echelon of the playoff tournament. And it also gave them an opportunity to get into the playoffs where they actually belong. Now, the Lakers belong in the playoffs, but the injuries could have kept them out. And the play-in tournament gave them an opportunity to get back in where they might have missed it because of injury. And who wants to see a finals or a playoff season without LeBron James and Anthony Davis? This play-in tournament gave them an opportunity to make sure that they would.
That makes all the sense in the world. Now he could get nominated for Academy Award.
On the flip side, we'll get to that in a second. But on the flip side of that, if there was no play-in tournament, right, and the Lakers was already seeded and everything else, they probably wouldn't even play the game last night at all. You know what I mean? Probably wouldn't even play. They wouldn't even have that whole thing. They would have not played towards the end of the season. Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts on the play-in tournament? You know, you brought up the question last night. After thinking about it, I was like, you know what? That's a pretty good question, because now I'm thinking about that. It could, to some people in some cities, it could bring some excitement to the town. What's your thoughts, Rodney? What's your thoughts?
I mean, it absolutely brings excitement. I was at a space last night. The people were excited. Both sides were in the spot, you know, yelling and screaming. You've never seen that at the end of the season. The end of the season is usually a moot point, a done deal. The season is already set, and so now that that's not the truth, it becomes way more exciting, man. I never watched a Grizzlies game with bated breath. You know, it was the play-in tournament is proven to be, especially with people like LeBron and Golden State at the bottom of the pack this year. You know, maybe it'll get boring when people that should be there are there, but you know, it's not a tune-out this year, that's for sure.
I think it's Adam Silver's thoughts, just to make sure the players, because the NBA ownership and NBA on Adam Silver's level, they're trying their best to figure out how players can stop doing load management, because it's getting worse and worse every year. I think they created the play-in tournament to make it exactly what we saw. Like, now you all gonna have to play if you want to be in the playoffs. You're gonna have to.
It's only exciting because good teams are at the bottom of the standings.
It's only exciting this year for that, right? But next year might not.
So we don't know what the future holds.
Right, but I'm going to say before we move on.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say before we move on, I'm still sticking to I'm not liking it, because I think you can knock out a team that might be on the 7th or 8th line all year, and then they get to the play-in tournament, and then they be out of the playoffs. That city might have wanted to see them play in it. What were you going to say, Fig?
No, I think that every year we've seen recently I just say the past 5 years, we've seen every good team have their share of injuries, which could leave you out of the playoffs, it being, how severe they are or how long your good players have to miss games. You know what I mean? So with this play-in tournament, it sort of gives them an opportunity to get back at the end of the year if they're able to get healthy towards the end.
All right, let's jump into. We have to talk about the NBA games because a lot of them jumped off last night. I want to talk about the big game first and the next game first. The Lakers played Golden State last night. I'm gonna start with you, Talent, and I'm gonna ask you. I know you saw the game. Give me your recap of the game. Tell me what your thoughts were, your takeaways when you cut the game off. What was the biggest takeaways from the Lakers versus Golden State that you saw last night?
Well, tight games always come down to the end, and the first thing is the right winner prevailed last night. LeBron and them deserved to win that because they played the end of the game more efficient than the Golden State Warriors. But the biggest takeaway was the Academy Award-winning performance of Mr. James. King James, I think they call him. King James got poked in the eye.
Oh, yeah.
Which happens on every basketball court in every city of the world every day. But he hit that floor like he was an extra in the movie Platoon. And some shrapnel blew off his foot. And there was somehow, even though the bomb was on the foot, it got here and there was invisible blood that kept leaking because he kept doing this. But I'm in a hotel, so it's not the TV wasn't really high definition, so I couldn't see the blood.
Anyway, okay. Your takeaway. What's your takeaway from the Lakers versus Golden State? What's your takeaway recap?
Man, it was absolutely amazing, man. The hometown cooking, man, was absolutely delicious. The way they made it, made the game and stuff like that. The referees, it was absolutely amazing. And I have to give it to LeBron James finally as being one of the greatest of all time, man, if not the greatest, man. LeBron James is a true
what?
He's a triple threat. No, serious. LeBron James is a triple threat for a basketball player to combine basketball acting skills and stunt man ability all in one game was just amazing. He has perfected the art of rolling. Like whenever he gets down on the floor, that roll, like he holds his head and he I've taken acting classes and I've seen what it takes to be able to pull that off. And LeBron James has perfected the act of just, oh my God, it amazes me. And I knew that he had the talent because when he started in his career, he was doing those commercials where he did different characters, but now he's on the level with De Niro and Denzel Washington with his acting skills because when he said, I saw 3 baskets and I just shot it the one in the middle. I was like, you know what? Like you couldn't even come up with that. And then when he got poked in the eye, it reminded me of Denzel Washington in Glory when that one tear just came down from it. Like you can't duplicate that, man. And his ability is just amazing. Nobody has ever done that.
Real quick, Fig. Real quick, Frank. This is what I heard. I heard this has got to be true what Fig is saying about the acting because I heard at the games, everybody else goes in the locker room. He has a trailer outside.
Yep. Rodney Perry, the LeBron James hate is real from Fig and Talent. What's your thoughts to take away from the Lakers versus Golden State recap, bro? What's your thoughts?
First of all, the Knicks are good. so these guys should be happy, right? But you can't make New Yorkers happy. It's impossible. They're mad when they're mad, and they're mad when they're happy, and that's okay. You know, I mean, I won't get into the theatrics, man. Let's talk basketball. LeBron James with Draymond Green's finger still lodged in his eye, makes a great shot. The man's finger was still there. He shot the ball with the man's finger still in his eye. or Draymond went straight up in his nose. I mean, I couldn't believe it. They brought Steve Jabby on the screen, and CJ, well, I thought it was a good foul, just good hard foul. Good hard foul.
Yeah.
No.
No beer.
Oh, good hard foul. Please, Steve Jabby. The man was leaning. He didn't even go for the ball. He didn't even try to get the ball. He went straight for the man's face. And y'all, that's acting? Are you serious? Well, he's a method actor because he got punched in the face. How dare you, talent? You're an actor.
Yeah.
And you did wonderful. I watched that movie just last night.
Hey, Rodney, did you hear the theme music? Did
I'm
you
not
hear
talking to you, Figs, when you get your hair together.
Hey,
I'm
tell
not
it.
talking to
Did
you,
you hear
Figs,
the theme
when you get your hair
music when
together.
LeBron was on the ground rolling? Stop, drop, shut it down, open up shop, roll. That's what.
But I agree with you, Rodney. That was a magnificent shot, given because anybody's been poked in the eye, it is affecting your vision, and that was an amazing shot. That's what the first thing I said. That was my first takeaway of the game. So I agree with you.
All right. The reason why I wanted to ask.
No, hold on, Frankie. I'm gonna ask this if we go down the road this LeBron hate future. Can y'all just say something wonderful at the top, because it's plenty of stuff there. Fig, I mean, LeBron's hair looked amazing last night.
I was gonna say that. Yep.
He what?
His hair looked amazing. I know you'd appreciate that.
Oh, it did. It really did.
And Frank, it looks like that LeBron could be wearing some goggles like yours, and talent. Let's say LeBron is an actor. Let's say that. Say that. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with it is that this is not Space Jam 2.
Oh, no. We changed the title to Whoop People's Ass 3.
Hey, listen. No, listen. I know for a fact that there's nothing wrong with that, because LeBron James takes the Lakers take personal acting classes. It's like into their workout. It's 2 times a week where they go to acting classes where they learn how to fall, flop, and roll. So that's 2 times a week instead of going to the gym and practice and putting up their shots. This is why LeBron,
Right.
what LeBron
don't shoot no shots
for the
in practice.
acting class.
So LeBron don't shoot no shots in practice.
No, he does.
LeBron James, the best player in the league,
he
don't
does.
shoot no shots in
He
practice.
does. He does. He
No,
does.
he's
But
saying acting practice. Acting practice is taught by Vlade Divac.
yes, it's acting and Manu Ginobili. Vlade Divac and Manu Ginobili teach acting classes to the Lakers. The one reason LeBron practices everything else. The one thing he doesn't practice is foul shots, and that's why he shoots in the
All right, let's move on. We got a lot more to talk about.
So wait a minute.
No,
They
Rodney,
take
hold
acting
on.
class. Well,
Rodney.
we need to get the Knicks to take some winning classes then.
Rodney. Let's move on. I want to ask you. I will start with talent now, because we talk about the Lakers. Lakers now facing the Phoenix Suns, right? After you saw the Lakers play last night, talent, right? Do you think? And I'm gonna tell you what I think after I go ask all you. Do you think the Lakers are gonna beat the Phoenix Suns in a 7-game series? Talent, I'm asking you first. What you think?
Well, if I had to put the money on it right now, Frank, I'm putting my money on Phoenix. I'm putting my money on Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
How many games?
How many games? Yeah, how many games now? And what? And out of 7-game series, what?
7-game series, I would go with Phoenix Suns, because if they play the way the Lakers, that is, if that's the best they're going to be doing. And let's be real. Everybody that's seen the game last night, it wasn't an AD LeBron victory. It was a supporting cast victory, to be honest with you, that survived the 3 quarters, that kept it close. And then when Steph went to the bench to sit down, actually took their first lead of the game, towards the end of the third, going into the fourth. And then the supporting cast kicked in. The backdoor cut pass to Caruso, a couple of rebounds, usual suspect. Teams got over the limit. So some of the usual suspect supporting cast got to shoot some free throws and make them and give them that 2 to 5 point cushion at times. Last night victory, other than that big shot at the end, was from the supporting cast mostly. So going into a 7-game series against the hot-ass Suns, they're going to have to look like last year's Lakers.
In which they don't. Fig, I'm going to ask you the exact same question, except I'm going to throw this to you and say, do you honestly think if the Lakers play the way they played last night, they're going to beat the Phoenix Suns? Fig, what you think?
Not even close, because look, the one thing that people always say is, who did he have to play with? Now, they usually are talking about LeBron James, like when they lose. Who did he have running with him? Who did Steph Curry have running with him last night? He had Draymond Green for the most part, and then what some of the stars call the others. Those guys played great. They're role players, no stars, just role players. It's Draymond Green, a defensive player, and they had Steph Curry as a scorer. Steph Curry was the only scorer on that team. The Phoenix Suns have more than one scorer. You got Chris Paul, you got Devin Booker, and you have a formidable big man possibly in DeAndre Ayton. If they play anywhere near as bad as they played last night against Golden State, the Lakers will not beat the Phoenix Suns. If they play horrible like they did last night, I have the Phoenix Suns in 6.
I hear what you're saying. Roddy Perry, what's your thoughts on the Lakers facing this Phoenix Suns?
If the Lakers play like they played last night, will they beat the Phoenix Suns in 7 games? The Lakers gonna beat anybody in 7 games. I don't care how they play.
Mm-hmm.
They figure out a way to win. They're well coached. They got great defense. The game wasn't won on offense at all last night. The game was won on defensive end of the court. Guess what? Steph Curry's a great shooter, but a poor defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That's a fact.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Fig, let him talk. Fig, let him talk. Go ahead, Roddy.
That's talent. Anyway.
No, that's Fig. Go ahead.
So as I was saying before, I was attempted to be rudely interrupted. The Lakers do need to step it up a notch. They needed to play better, and they will. They just got back together. They're just beginning to gel at the right moments. They're gonna run Phoenix Suns out of the building. It'll be the Lakers in 6 games. I called it right here.
Mm-hmm.
See, y'all both scared to say how many games.
I said 6.
I would say 5. I got Phoenix in 5, to be honest with you. I don't think because what nobody's talking about on the pros, anybody else, nobody's talking about the players that the Lakers don't have that helped them win last year. And players that they don't have that helped them win last year, obviously not there this year. And the role players that are coming off the bench did not play good enough for them last night. And I don't see their play getting much better in the next couple of games. I just don't see it. They're playing hard. The Lakers barely won. That game was lucky. And they get ready to run into a freight train. Trust and believe.
And Rodney was absolutely right. Rodney, you were absolutely right. That game was won on defense last night. And the thing that I have to give the Lakers credit for is the defense. Frank Vogel had a great plan. They double and triple team the only bona fide scorer that Golden State had. They double and triple team Steph Curry, and they were able to prevent him from hitting the winning shot. The thing is that you can't double and triple team a team that has 3 or 4 different scorers.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic. Is Talent. I'm gonna start with you. Memphis played really amazing last night, and they played against San Antonio. And Memphis is Memphis. I'm gonna ask you this, Talent. Is Memphis that dark horse this year in the play? Because every year in the playoffs, there's a team that comes in, nobody sees coming. We all know this. They come in, nobody sees coming, and they're that dark horse. And next thing you know, they get an upset or two. Last year, it was Miami in the East, and in the West last year, it was Denver. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna ask you, Talent. Could it be Memphis this year? Is everybody overlooking Memphis?
I don't think so. I think that was a fluke. I mean, you look at the coach of the Spurs, Greg Popovich, looked like he's directing the new Sons of Anarchy. Popovich is going with the 2021 Jesus hairstyle. So listen, it's a fluke. I think that the Spurs and them are on similar caliber, where they could compete and they can make it competitive and they can squeak out a game here and there. But in the 7-game series, I think the West comes down to the usual suspects carrying over from last year, bubble play, if you will. So I'm not worried about Memphis. I don't think they're a dark horse. I think that, everything aligned for them towards the end of that game. Because if you watch that game, it was similar to the Lakers game as how tight it was and how all the cylinders were clicking for the Spurs. And then come down to the wire, once to change, the cylinders was in a different car, and we have a different outcome. And Memphis walked away with it.
Okay. Fig, is Memphis the dark horse this year?
No, man. The funny thing is, and talk about Greg Popovich. He looked like he was hanging out with Phil Jackson with a tie-dye T-shirt and smoking a little Jesus juice. You know? he had a bunch of edibles. No, man. I don't think. Listen, here's the funny thing. As I said earlier in the show, Memphis still has to get by Golden State on Friday. Mm-hmm. That's the next matchup on Friday. Memphis and Golden State. So if Golden State played Memphis like they played the Lakers, Memphis ain't got nobody like LeBron James and Anthony Davis that they have to worry about. If Draymond Green and Steph Curry show up like they did in those other role players, Andrew Wiggins, LeBron James is his kryptonite. So if those guys step up the way that they did last night, Memphis might be out on Friday, and it might be Golden State in the 8th seed.
Rodney Perry, the question is Memphis that dark horse? Do you think Memphis is that dark horse this year?
Yeah. Actually, I do. I think they're really scrappy. They got young guys. They come to play. I don't know if they can get it done, but they're absolutely a dark horse. And if you go in there and you take them lightly, you go home talking about what they did. What they beat y'all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They hand over beat them. All right, so let's move on because a couple other topics I want to get into. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Deshaun Watson made a so-called public appearance. He came out and made a public post yesterday, and he showed himself working out in some football and everything else. Looks like he's preparing to play this season right now. It might not be for Houston, but it looked like he's preparing to play. When you hear Deshaun Watson is preparing to play, talent, and he's getting ready and he made a public appearance, what's your thoughts on how, because he could have stayed hidden and not saying anything, but he purposely made a post yesterday. What's your thoughts?
Well, he's coming to New York. That's my thought. I said it before. I say it 10 more times. He's not going to be in Houston. He's coming to New York. The last news that we got from the case with the girls and the backtracking and all this stuff working in his favor, he getting the hell out of Dodge, man. He getting the hell out of Dodge. He's going to a team. I think the ultimate compromise, I hate to say this, that my team's going to probably acquire him through a compromise. The compromise is this. You want to go, I don't want you to go. So neither team can have what they want. I'm leaving, so as a team, you're not getting what you want. However, if I'm the team controlling you leaving, I'm not sending you to the teams you want to go to right now. I'm sending you to some other teams, which is the Jets. So this is a compromise because neither person getting exactly what they want out of the deal.
Okay, Fig, what's your thoughts?
People are saying that it's a bad look for him to be working out and preparing to play football because of these allegations. Anybody that I know that has a job that has some kind of allegations pending, they still go to work. I mean, these are not criminal allegations. Why wouldn't you put out a video saying that I'm getting in shape and I'm getting ready and I'm working out and stuff like that? What is he supposed to do? Because some people had allegations against him. Is he supposed to sit in the house and with the remote control and just watch TV? That's ridiculous. I think that he's doing exactly what he should be doing.
Exactly. Rodney Perry, your thoughts?
I mean, he has to work out. I mean, he probably is feeling antsy, being around the house, not doing nothing. And I think the powers that be at the Houston organization, not only do they probably lost a guy, they're trying to recoup some of their funds. They're trying to make him leave some of that money in Houston, and it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. So, I mean, I wish they would just go ahead and bid this guy farewell and let him go on to the next chapter of his life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish so too, but you know, it's going to be hard for them to let him go. In other news, Antonio Brown, believe it or not, news came out that AB, he did not sign that contract that you were talking about he was supposed to sign. He signed it tentatively, but it's pending because he has to pass his physical. Now, here's the thing. He hasn't been able to pass his physical yet. So if he doesn't pass his physical, he will get cut by the Tampa Bay Bucks. He signed a 1-year deal for $6 and some change. And the word is coming out right now. There's some concern about that. Talent, what you think? Should Tampa Bay continue to move forward, or you think that he's really not as healthy as he's claiming to be? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Hold on a second.
There you go.
He didn't sign because of this. He ran out of ink. He just needed a new pen. There's nothing wrong with him in the physical. He probably they're probably making him put the weed down for a minute and you know, detox and clean out. He's gonna sign. He's going. I think that's a sure in. Brady's smart. You know, the same way Brady got in his ear the first time and said, "Hey, bro, you got to fly below the radar. Let's get this done." Same thing's gonna happen. He's gonna get it done. Trust.
Hey, what you think?
I think Antonio Brown is a Super Bowl champ. He doesn't have any right now. Doesn't seem like he has any other suitors. He has $6 million, probably plus incentives on the table. And I really believe that whatever this physical is, I don't think it's physical. I think it's more medical, as in medical marijuana or some edibles that he probably has to get out of his system with some apple cider vinegar and some water. I don't know how I know that, but some apple cider vinegar and some water, and drink that, and some cranberry juice and a lot of fluids. And then the next time he goes to pass his physical, I'm sure it'll come out with flying colors.
You're a little drug addict, you.
Yeah, yes, we noticed that. Well, Rodney Perry, what's your thought?
I mean, it might have been a little gamesmanship in him coming in, maybe not as in shape as he should have. And but now that he's seen Julio maybe hit the market, he's gonna get his shit together in a hurry.
Oh yeah, because he wants to play football, and he got that case that he signed off on, and money's going out, and no money's coming in. So he need to make sure he take care of that real fast. We gotta get ready to get out of the show, but I want to be the last couple of minutes of the show. I'm gonna do something completely unorthodox. And Talent, can you do me a favor? I'm throwing the ball to you. Can you please tell everybody? You guys had an excellent conversation yesterday. You had an amazing conversation. I was watching it while I was driving around about comics. As a matter of fact, I'll throw the ball to you. You were talking about comics that are not here anymore. You had a great point. Rodney Perry had great points. Fig had some great points. Like we this show is comedy. We talk sports, but there are a lot of comics who come on this show. I guess my point is I want to make, being that Paul Mooney just passed away, and there are some people who are being overlooked. One of my favorite people who got overlooked was Rashid. Can you talk about Rashid and tell everybody that Rashid story, bro? That was hilarious, bro.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, first of all, shout out to Rodney, because Rodney brought up that great point that it's a lot of us comedians over the years that a lot of people don't get to know about. And it's our job to keep those stories alive and tell those people's stories. And Rashid is one of the comedians, Brooklyn-based, that in a short period of time made an impact on the game. And he did that with the comedy, he had these signature bits. So when Rashid died, they had a memorial at the Laugh Factory in Times Square in New York. And for whatever reason, they had all the comics, and I was like, yeah, come on down. So I'm in the back, and I really just came down for support because I don't really like those type of things. And the family cornered me in the back and was like, you know, you got to go up there and say a few words, man. Rashid loved you and da da da. And I'm like, I love Rashid too. They say something. And I'm saying to myself the whole time, this is why they don't let me speak at these things. I don't know what the hell I'm going to say. So after watching everybody share stories, I saw I do got this one story. So I go into this story of where all four comedians get in Rashid's car. He's driving. We go back and forth to Boston, to Faneuil Hall, to the Comedy Connection. So this particular night, at the end of the show, we randomly meet four girls hanging together. So what better way, if you want some after action, four guys meet four girls. We was like, yo. So we talking, where y'all going? Well, you know, ain't nothing, it's late, it's Sunday night. This is this Chinese spot everybody go to. All right, we're gonna follow y'all. We follow these girls. As soon as we get in the car, Rashid got to check in at home. You know, Rashid, baby mother, got the ex-wife, so Rashid in the car. Yeah, baby, no, everything good. We just chilling. So guys know to be quiet when you're on the phone checking in. That's a protocol, unwritten rule. So everybody's quiet. So okay, baby, I love you. Yeah, I'll be up first thing in the morning. All right. Put the phone down. We go right in. Yo, you see the ass? You see the ass on the light skin one? The tits on the other one. Blah blah blah. And Rashid, if anybody ever heard Rashid, he has this deep signature voice.
Yo.
So all you hear at all who got a fat booty and big breasts, all you hear is, I just want to get my jigsaw. So we pull up to the place. He go to grab his phone, put the car in park, and all you see him is grab the phone and go, oh, shit. And I said, what happened? He said, it was on. It never hung up. I said, nah, here I go, because I'm trying to get this ass, so I'm Mr. Proactive. It ain't nothing happening. You're overthinking it. Nobody heard that. The phone rings back. It's the house. Hello? His wife said, really? Really, nigga? You just want to get your dicks out? You just trying to get Hey, that was talent. That wasn't me. That was talent. No, we know your boy. You think I'm stupid? Even your mother's here. He put the mother on the phone. The mother said, that was you, baby. Now, Frank,
the funny part is Talent told that story at the man's funeral.
Let me paint the picture. At the memorial, the room is cracking up. I look to my left. It's crazy because the mother, the kids, the mother, the ex-wife, and the new wife, they're all sitting together, right? So the funny thing is, some of them are laughing, some of the mother.
That's why I was laughing.
But look, though, the current woman, the one he about to marry, is livid because it happened to her. But the ex-wife, that's why I left this nigga.
That's why I was crying. It was a story, a top of a story. I mean, I guess I want to leave the show with this. You know, we got a whole lot of people we need to give our flowers to now. While they're still here. That's what I want to leave the show with, and especially with comics and the passion of Paul Mooney. And you guys had a great show. You know, you had some great points. Big had some great points. Rodney had some amazing points too. Yeah. It was just a great show you guys did yesterday. So anyway, tell everybody out there how they can follow you. Fig, we saw it.
Hey, listen, go to my IG and see that meme that Fig keeps flashing. It's hilarious. My IG is Talent the Comedian with a DA, Talent the Comedian. My Twitter is at It's Just Comedy, and my Facebook, King Talent Harris. Check me out. Follow me this weekend because we got some good shows coming up this weekend on all platforms.
All right, Fig, tell everybody how they can follow you.
Yeah, man, right there at the bottom of the screen, at Comedian Fig, all social media platforms. I'm going to be there. Box Seats, Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. That's where it is.
Wow. Amir said Malik's been gone for 21 years today. Wow. I didn't even notice that. Wow. Rodney Perry, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
Yo, my website is rodneyperry.com. All social media, Rodney Perry Live. Thank you, man. It's a great show, and it's an honor to be a part of it.
Thank you, man. Thank you all for watching the show. We appreciate it. Okay, y'all. You all know the name of the show. The show's called Box Seats. I am, of course, Frank. That was Talent. That was Fig. That's Rodney Perry. Thanks, y'all, for watching the show. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Thanks, Rodney. We appreciate you all. We'll see y'all then. The name of the show's Box Seats. Peace, y'all.